Good morning. So we're joined today by Daniel and Lisa, who are our recent clients who have been through an amazing journey from end to end with us at Over and Above. So I'm going to hand it over to Dan and Lisa to talk about their experiences from how they were introduced to Over and Above, their scope of what they were looking for, how we assisted with that, and the ultimate outcome that we achieved. So over to you guys.
Hey everyone. Obviously I'm Daniel. This is Lisa. We've just successfully purchased our first investment property down in Bendigo, which is interstate for us. We're actually based in Brisbane. How I first came across the guys at Over Above, I think it might have even been through some of my professional LinkedIn connections. I'd seen some of the information they were posting, and it always seemed really relevant. But
very genuine, I guess.
Yeah, absolutely, very genuine. Relevant, and I just really like their approach as far as what you guys are doing. So when it came time to for us to start that journey, you guys were the logical choice.
Fantastic. So talk us through about the I suppose the barriers to entry for you guys as first time investors, being in Queensland and then ultimately buying in Victoria. How did that come about? How did that feel as part of the process?
I think originally we weren't sure where we would invest. We were really open to, I guess, wherever you guys sort of suggested. I mean, the whole point of working with you, as our buyers agencies, because we need to be able to lean on your advice and to be able to trust it. If we can't do that, probably shouldn't be working together. So we all obviously felt that we could do that. With the price point and the pre-approval number that we had, obviously with our finance, Bendigo seemed like a really smart choice for us. We could get a lot of value for our money there, but also still find the right type of property that we wanted as far as being able to maybe subdivide or something like that in the future, where we could just, I guess, opens us up to a lot more opportunities.
I think the great thing also was Mark and Alex gave us options.
Yeah.
So we weren't straight away, pigeonholed into one area based on our budget or what we wanted to do. So, I guess the two areas or the two regions that were identified was regional Victoria and regional Queensland, so Sunshine Coast area as well. And so they not only just searched one area, they were searching multiple areas for us at the same time to get us the best type of property and also the best deal as well. So, we wouldn't have been able to do that ourselves.
No, not at all. Not being here to stay. And also, look, I don't know Victoria very well at all. And to be honest, even at this point where, we've now owned this property for, I think, a month or so, bought it, I think, in February, and I still haven't seen it. And I don't even feel like I need to.
Yeah, that's so cool. So let's talk about the parts of the process and trying to deal with that, whether, from developing the strategy to ultimately locating the property, which in essence was off market. So it didn't actually hit realestate.com.au. So we purchased it off market, then being able to get access to, show prospective tenants through. So negotiating the terms. So take us through that wave of emotion from sitting in your lounge room in Brisbane to not even seeing this property that no one else even is aware of, to then owning it and going on the journey, the ride. So talk us through that.
From an interstate perspective, it was actually a really seamless process because we had you guys in the background doing all the work for us. So it was almost like we would just get a check-in and you'd let us know what stage, we were up to, what you'd found, what was it suitable for us, did we like it? We never felt any pressure to make decisions immediately, even though in this type of market, if you snooze, you lose. But we never felt that you guys put any pressure on us to say, look, you're going to need to put an offer in or you're going to lose this property. You just pretty much did the research, put the facts in front of us, and then allowed us to make that decision based on how you'd educated us throughout the process as well. So
yeah, looking at obviously, you guys had already been through all the data, talked to us about, where those suburbs were going, what you projected to happen in the next sort of, 5-10 years, what the potential of those properties were as well. So when it came time for us to make a decision, we had all the information. There wasn't one thing where I was left sitting back going, I just feel nervous about this. There was none of that. It was just like, how much do we want to pay for that property? That was the only decision we felt like we had to make.
Yeah, brilliant. Now that's really good. So in terms of now you've got the strategy in mind. You've got something that over time you have options to manufacture further growth. You've got a wide frontage block. You've got over 800 square meters of land. Next door, you've got unobstructed views with Crown land next door, which will never be built upon. You're just around the corner from an $800 million hospital, state of the art, 16th best rated in the world from an architecture perspective. So how does that make you feel?
Really excited.
Really confident.
Yeah.
I guess that strategy is something that we got from yourself, from Alex, from Adam, unexpectedly. A lot of people will, get a buyer's agent, and all they pretty much get is someone that finds a property for them, negotiates for them, and deal done. Whereas you all took the time to sit down with us beforehand, before we even started looking at properties, and wanted to work out what we wanted, what our investing goals were. And most importantly, you said to us, Mark, we need to have exit strategies as well, because we want to buy multiple properties in the future. We don't want to lock ourselves into a type of property that's not going to allow us to do that. And also to lock us in with finance that won't allow us to do that as well. So I think that was something that we got that was really beneficial too.
Yeah, I mean, as for us, it's, that particular property, that you found off market, Mark, and, the only reason you found that is obviously because of your really close relationships with those local agents that, I certainly would never have had access to myself. I wouldn't have even known about that property, without you, having those connections and doing that part for us. So, that was vital. But I mean, the property itself, look, we're really excited about that. There's, potentially the opportunity for us to build a triplex on that property, in a couple of years. We're just going to, wait and see obviously what the market does, get together a few more funds and, but be in a really, I guess, positive position to, at the end of the day, make a lot of money from that property. That's the whole reason that everybody's investing, and, we're no different.
Yeah. So it comes back to really setting that strategy up from the outset, doesn't it? Having a bit of a game plan, understanding where the finance is going to take you and what your capabilities are with the available cash, because everyone's situation is different. So we've worked through the plan, we've gone out and sourced that, we've then executed, and we've followed through now with the tenant in there paying that weekly income, which is fantastic at a net level. So it puts you in a position now where you can reinvest that capital or that extra cash flow, whichever way you want, or sit that aside for strategy execution down the track to build that nice deck on the outside of these triplexes, and you've got unobstructed views down to a beautiful Lake Waroona around the corner from this state-of-the-art hospital. So that's what we're really excited about. So is there anything else that you want to talk about as part of the overall over and above journey that you've gone on with us that others may benefit from?
To be honest, it almost feels like we don't own an investment property because it has been that simple
and that easy. We didn't do any work.
We don't even think about it. We now just have an asset that's making us money without any hassle at all.
Yeah, it's not just that as well. I mean, one of the things, I guess, when we, started this journey, and I think, there's probably a lot of people who, haven't done a lot of investing at that point. Everyone figures that, you buy an investment property, it's going to be taking money out of your pocket every week. It's,
you're
it's
going to be on the phone
to
land, like real estate agents with tenant issues.
Yeah, or it's just, it's going to cost you money. In this particular property, she ain't anything pretty. I think we'll all agree with that. But it's not about it being a pretty property. It's about its potential in a few years' time. But even in its current format, you guys found us a property that I think we'll probably put it around, $3,000 in, extra cash flow, in our bank account every year for owning this thing. That's not something I ever thought, was going to be possible. I thought, I'd buy something like that. It's going to cost me money. I'm probably going to be putting 100, 150 a week into it just to hold the thing for the next, 3 to 5 years, and then maybe try and develop it. Whereas, there's none of that. It cost me nothing to own this thing. It's stupid for me not to have invested in this.
Yeah, it becomes a no-brainer, doesn't it? Particularly when cash is sitting there, going backwards based on inflation, sitting in a savings account, doing a disservice to your future and financial independence. You've taken the action to activate, put that into action with the right strategy and plan, and now you've sort of taken a back seat and you really haven't left that lounge chair in Brisbane, have you?
No, not at all. And definitely we would not have got that property at the price we did had it not been for you, number one, finding it off market and negotiating that as well. We also got great terms as well. We got to experience some growth in
Probably
the
4
area.
or 5 months, I think. Yeah, we got extended settlement, 4 or 5 months of free growth on that property in a hot market where I didn't even have to pay for, where we didn't have to pay for it. And obviously that's because of once again your negotiation skills with that local agent, Mark. That wouldn't have happened without that. So
fantastic. All right, brilliant. I appreciate your time today and sharing that journey, that experience, and I hope we've delivered the outcome that has gone over and above for you guys.
Oh yeah, most definitely, and we can't wait for the next purchase with you guys.
Absolutely.
Thanks for your time.